Now is your time to play.
TBE. TBE. That's right, man. We celebrating the victory of our man, Money Mayweather, here on the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. I am the moderator, B. Jones, and I got my familiar faces back on the podcast today. We got our beloved intern, Jay Dace. What's happening, bro?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope that you're having a phenomenal day.
Easy. We got BJ back on the podcast. What's going on, bro?
Everything's good, brother. Everything's good. Glad to be here.
Hey, man, we missed you last week, man. You know, we had the back-to-school session and everything.
Man, I was traveling. Me and my family traveled for the eclipse. But we on the road coming back, couldn't jump on. But, I watched it, and I had so many things I wanted to jump in there with. I was like, we got to do that show again, man.
There it is. Come right back. Just for you. Faison, what's up, baby?
Man, it is great to be back. I miss y'all. Last week it was a good time, but I'm gonna throw something at you real quick since we didn't do a song last week, and I appreciate you holding out for me, Diddy. That was good stuff. And how would you feel if knowing everything prejudice was obsolete and all mankind danced to the exact beat, and that night it was safe to walk down the streets and live in color? Do what you do, what you do.
I was right there.
I'm like, dang,
do. Rest in peace, Heavy D.
Yeah, that was the jam. That was
keep moving, baby. We coming your way. We coming your way fresh. What's happening?
Same thing, same grind, same freshness. We out here making sure the people stay fresh, motivated, inspired. We just living life, man. Living a dream. Let's go.
And we got the Green Lantern on the show today. Coach K, what's happening?
What's going on? Just happy to see all the fellas back.
On the family reunion.
Jay did a great job of pretending to know what In Living Color was.
Oh, chill out, yo.
Recognize it. He did a real good job.
No, I was like, when he was saying, I was like, I know that song from somewhere. Definitely.
Yeah, man, Jay know In Living Color, man. You know, right? All the people who got their stars, Damon Wayans, all of them on Living Color, man. You good with that?
Kim Whitfield.
Jim Carrey.
Kimberly.
You got,
not Kim Whitfield, Tootie. Kimberly.
Tommy Davidson. You got all them kids.
Jim Carrey.
Yo, that one skit. I don't seem to have my car. Bang!
Funky Fingers, baby. Funky Finger Productions.
Nah, my favorite off of there was Homie the Clown, man. I used to love the Homie the Clown skit.
I liked the Keenan's sister, what's her name, who had the I'm gonna tell you something, but you know about this, and she would sit on the stoop and just be talking business about everybody.
I don't want to gossip, but
I used to love when David Allen Greer used to hit the when he used to sing the country song.
Want to hear about here go?
Oh man, good times.
Going down memory lane.
Wrote a song about it. Here it go.
Yep. Bust his head wide open.
Bust his head wide open, man. I mean, right into Yo, man, we got to talk about this fight, though, man. That Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather fight, man. I thought it was great entertainment. Floyd definitely went out there, did his thing. I want to get you guys' take on it, man. I got a problem with the fight, but I'm gonna let y'all get y'all take on the fight before we get there to see if anybody brings it up before me.
Before we go to the fight, so I want to just ask a question, and everybody let me know what you think. But how would you feel being the start of the fight? You're the number one on the card, and you got your theme music, everything all ready to go, and you go out to just one person and the announcers, and you're fighting literally for nobody but yourself. I don't know if anyone's seen that, if you watched the fight from the very beginning, but the spotlight's going and you're spotlighting the whole arena.
2:30. and let me tell
there's
you,
nobody in the ring.
Hey, Floyd Mayweather started in that same position. That if you're not willing to respect the fact that it's your mama and your homeboys who have been to watch you, do you know how hard it is? Anybody, let alone, people who are not family and friends, to care at all about what you were doing, let alone watch you do it. That it's, hey man, if you are not willing to embrace that moment, be thankful and give it your all, you are in the wrong profession.
That's true. But still think about that third, that when you're walking out and you're like the first person on TV time, and you got
you got to look at the big picture.
I'm just saying, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
How many people are doing their job right now and nobody's watching it?
Nobody.
Except for their sorry supervisor, who they probably are smarter than anyway, and they're even more frustrated because they're over their back like, hey, you need to do more. So
it's a great point.
If you look at it like that, they're getting paid to have people watch them, do what they hopefully love and enjoy.
Well, if you do that, they're probably getting paid. If you think about the actual people watching per dollar, they're probably getting paid the most of the entire fight because their average is much higher. You think about it that way.
As a matter of fact, the first 5 people to comment on this show, we will shout you out on the next podcast.
There we go. 100%.
Just so that we know somebody's watching us other than us.
Other than just our families.
Let's pray the
Mom.
weekend. You do the first time and then the 20th. There you go.
But getting back to the fight though, man. So what did y'all think of the fight, man? Like I said, I thought it was great entertainment.
Man, just go ahead and put your view out there, man.
Hey, man, I don't want to put it out there yet because I don't want to sound too biased. But since you want to oblige me, I feel like that referee did Mayweather a disservice for calling.
Oh yeah, literally, yeah.
I was livid when I saw that man jumping between him and Korner for in my opinion, no reason. You gotta let him put him on his back, man.
No, everybody in that ring had a job. While the two fighters' job was to destroy each other, that ref's job is to make sure nobody leaves with brain damage or has any real issues. At the end of the day, if you watch the tape, for anybody to get hit 6-7 times in the face without putting their gloves up, when you can see they are arguably trying to, but have no power to, and are still getting struck repeatedly in the face, not like body shots or nothing, but like blasted in the face. You have to, there's a humanity aspect of being a referee. Yes, he could have let it go based on, the preference of, hey, you know what? There was a lot of smack talk going on, especially of the UFC versus boxing. But that is not that's why he is actually showing how good of a ref he really is, because he held up to really what his job and responsibility truly was, of making sure that nobody left with brain damage. However, the point of who was the true victor was proven. Regarding the fight in the whole, I thought it was exactly what Floyd Mayweather has done at least his last 10 to 15 fights. In regards to being able to look, I'm going to give you 3 rounds of figuring out what you really think is your best opportunity of taking it out. You can throw everything that you really think is going to be that amazing thing, so I can really know, oh, you know what, I did train right, and then now I'm just going to go ahead and go to work. The only difference was the ability that he had to, just like McGregor said afterwards, hey, when he put his head in my chest and was coming forward, I didn't train for that. And that was the difference, is that Floyd made, just like he said in pre-interviews, which I did not know if he was going to live up to his word, but the fact that he did start going after him and was aggressively moving forward and had McGregor backing up, trying to figure out how he wanted to set up stuff. And then furthermore, to see he brought McGregor past after that 4th round, you saw.
Yeah.
Start getting tighter.
UFC's 3 rounds, maybe 3 rounds.
It was just as it was supposed to go. McGregor got his shots and everything early, but once it came to those championship rounds and what really is boxing is about, the true expertise of Floyd showed, and he just started pegging them off. Yeah, they could have let it go to Korner to be beaten to a pulp, but the point was proven. Even to Korner, you saw in that fight, Korner have the moment of clarity of, holy this guy is a fight. I cannot deny the fact that I do not understand how he still seems like round 1 as far as stamina and motion and what he's doing. Like, people do not give him enough credit. Floyd is the type of dude who will go to the club till 4 or 5 in the morning with everybody, walk outside and say, hey, follow me, I'm running home. I'm running home. And that's 5 miles away into the hills. Whatever, you know what I mean? That there's a big difference in a life training champion like he is, as opposed to, just a regular fighter. Like, he deserves everything that he has and has gotten. I've taken up a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, he absolutely does deserve everything that he has coming to him, especially being 50-0 now, breaking that Rocky Marciano record.
50. Heard his
I am one to ask that question as well. Does this fight count? It counts for the 50. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to take away from his legacy. He done beat 50 people, whatever. But he didn't fight a boxer for this last one. And we all knew going into it, at least I know for sure I did. I'm like, Floyd's going to stretch this thing out. Now, I didn't think he was going to come in throwing hands like he did in rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I definitely knew he was going to stretch him out, make him go the distance, get in that deep water, as they say, because he's an MMA fighter. He only used to fight in 25 minutes, and he did that once. So not going against whoever the top competitor is in boxing right now, does that kind of take away from Floyd's legacy?
But who is the top competitor right now?
I couldn't tell you.
Exactly.
You get a lot of talk about Triple G and whoever this other guy is that's supposed to be fighting. I think he might have beat both of them already. There was a couple dudes on the undercard that are on Floyd's. I think
they are. Yeah,
they're
wearing
under
his,
his,
they're wearing it.
And they don't want to get in the ring with him. So it's like, who else is he supposed to fight? That's a fair question.
And here's the thing. So you have to realize boxing right now is really dead. Floyd was the best thing they had going. Who is it? Who's the heavyweight champion right now?
I don't know, because Vitaly or Vladimir, one of them just like relinquished the belts not too long.
Just retired.
Yeah, there's Big Baby. There's a couple, but you're 1,000% correct. Boxing is right now the dinosaur of the sports aspect as far as fighting sports.
Right, and you ran the risk of people saying, "Look, I don't want to see this Mayweather fight." If you'd have went and got one of these other guys, they'd have been like, "Oh, we already know what Floyd's gonna do.
Exactly.
He's gonna dance around. He's gonna dodge. He's going, get ticky-tack points."
And that was the only reason Floyd. Yeah, that was the only reason Floyd came back, because of the spectacle of what it became and how he respected McGregor's use of what Floyd does, and that's the ability to talk up the game,
to hype a fight up.
Exactly, and put some butts in seats and make it the talk of everything. Once it became a trending topic on social media, when there was absolutely no real conversations of what was going to happen, that's when the the inclination of, wow, I can make some stupid money on this.
The money bulb went off,
and that's all it.
Yeah.
You know that Money Mayweather, TMT, baby. That's what his play was, and he was done. He wasn't trying to, but it's like, really, you're gonna give me $300 million to fight somebody? At the end of the day, I understand they're a fighter, but we're talking about professional boxing, and I am a champion, proven, tried and true, and I whip champions on a regular. Like I've proven myself over and over and over again, and you're gonna tell me, while I understand you're a fighter, you are not a boxer. Exactly. This is there's a true expertise in it.
He held his own for a minute in there. Now, like I definitely thought it was interesting for those first 4 to 6 rounds. I definitely didn't expect Korner to come out and be throwing hands and being able to hit him like he did, especially that 1 or 2 uppercuts people have been talking about. But he actually looked good in the ring. And I feel like if he had actually trained to be a boxer instead of an MMA fighter, he might have been able to do some things with Floyd, given the reach factor that he had. But that experience, man, like killed him.
We're talking about a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly.
I enjoyed his ability to shift sides back and forth when he was fighting. That was very entertaining.
Korner puts on
a good show. Yeah.
Show. I take nothing against him. I was ready to watch the fight. He had a puncher's chance, just like everybody said. I saw that uppercut in round 1. Yeah. I was like, wow, he really does have a puncher's chance. But at the same time, I thought if there was any power he was going to muster, that was going to be the most power he had to hit him with. Like that was it. One of those punches. And while Mayweather was like, wow, that was a good punch, it wasn't like, oh, anything like the 5 punches that he received at the end of the fight. He ate that. He was stumbling. Yeah, you know, Mayweather took that shot like, oh, okay, I see you got something. And I think it was more the Konor's value was how unorthodox he is as a fighter because of the lack of training. And that's what caught Floyd off, caught him off guard early.
You
things like that upper, yeah.
You didn't know where a punch was coming from.
Like, how did you throw that uppercut? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that was what through like no professional boxer is gonna throw that uppercut. But once he realized, okay, let me just go ahead and let you punch yourself out, because you saw kind of get hype off of the crowd getting all excited because just because he's throwing punches and hitting Floyd's shoulders and everything. And so hey, go ahead, punch it up, and then just like we saw, that man just gassed out and won it. He was just he was in awe of the profession of body. Like, Floyd is an expert.
Listen, and maybe somebody on here can do it. I am waiting for somebody to take clips of Floyd hitting Korner and then just show Prince Akeem in the crowd talking about yes.
Hey man, going back to his legacy though, man, Floyd, you know, he got the 50-0. You know, one of the things that stood out the most with me about this fight from others was Korner kind of stepped into that role as, you know, the villain or whatever. He took a lot of the heat that Floyd normally gets because he talked more trash than Floyd could normally talk or whatever. So he stepped into that role. And I thought it was interesting to me because some of the people that I was in the room with watching the fight, you go back 2 or 3 fights ago when he was fighting Pacquiao, and you know, it was moral character that people were putting him on the scales together. So it's like Mayweather has this checker history. They bringing up all of this domestic abuse stuff or whatever, trying to sully the name when he's going against Pacquiao, and you get none of that. And I thought it was real interesting how the media decided to cover him going into this 50th fight to add to that legacy.
I definitely think a piece of it was Floyd has a lot of control now. I don't think there was any I didn't see no 24/7s, even though he's the one who created that show.
I thought they did
there was a lot of I didn't see it. If it was, I don't recall seeing it or even seeing anything about it. And I saw so much of all the other shenanigans as far as the press conferences.
So they had a lot of those shenanigans, but when they did the all access, typically they only show them in training mode. They show them in the gym a lot, what they doing, sparring or whatever. They might have a few clips of them talking. For Floyd, though, this time around, it was more so about his life. You know what I'm saying? They took the opportunity to kind of celebrate everything that he came from, the trials, the tribulations. Even right before the fight, they had a clip, you know, like 2-3 minute clip.
I think that goes back to his control, though, of Floyd doesn't want to retire as the bad guy. And I think it was the win situation of this fight to him didn't secure. He already secured his legacy. But I think that
what the media did not let him go out as the
he saw the opportunity of so many I'm going to get 300 million, and I can control the narrative to make myself go out now as a true classified champion who did something nobody else did and was able to, you know, that can hopefully, you know, kind of push to the side my other issues enough for you to be like, okay, wow, you know, I do respect and agree Floyd is the best boxer of all time. That's what he wants, is people to be able to say without a doubt, and he can, hey, look, man, I'm the best boxer because of these stats, and look at this, and then look how I finished. Greatest, most expensive, you know, largest purse fight in history. What else can you say? You know, and all my purses continue to get more. How else do you want to calculate how great I am? It's like somebody being able to throw Tim Duncan into the mix of trying, oh, well, he's like one of the greatest players, like the greatest player ever. You know, you start breaking down some stats like Tim Duncan is great, but he's boring as hell. I don't care about Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? But it's along those categories of, yeah, I can break down the stats now of like, look at what I've done. And the fact that he's able to talk competently, have conversations. Yeah. He may not be able to quote unquote read, you know what I mean, or anybody wants to joke about, but by standards of a boxer who has been through as much as he has, and to what he controls, how he does it, what's going on, that he's got a life past boxing, all you can do is hats off.
And that's what you appreciate the most about it, is because he set up that life past boxing. You know what I'm saying? He had Mayweather Productions. You know, he has the training facilities. He just made $350 million for how many minutes? 30 minutes? Not even 30 minutes, like 27 minutes. Like, Jesus Christ, this dude, his legacy, you know, is gonna go way, 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 way into the future. But like you said, I'm gonna pose a question: is he the best boxer of all time?
In that weight class, yes.
That's a good way to put it. I think that in general,
because I'm still a fan of Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr. is my man. So
you think Roy Jones?
No. But they're different weight classes. Roy Jones doesn't same class as him.
I'm talking, if you're talking about just in general,
I want to break it down.
Hard to top Muhammad Ali, but I think Muhammad Ali is in the category of a Michael Jordan. I don't care. Like, LeBron James is amazing, you know, historic, all of that great stuff. But it's still like something about the era in which they encapsulated in the bounds of what they did with what they had that adds to the, you know, the legacy, the story, and what they have. It isn't just about saying, hey, in boxing I won 50 fights, you know, period. It's, well, you know, think of the times, what was going on, what he had to face. Could have Ali have gotten, you know, in the times that he decided to take fights and you know, being able to say things like, hey, well, you technically got Pacquiao after his prime. If you got him when everybody wanted, who knows what would happen?
Right.
You know, that it's those things, the small question marks, where those things aren't on Ali's legacy. Nope. Only thing on Ali's legacy is, damn, I wish he wasn't, as soon as he was. You know, it was more that, hey, I wish that he can go ahead and push further. He had more of an opportunity to go ahead and do more, and that he didn't get so damaged so quickly.
Well, it wasn't that he got damaged quickly. It was, my man had 3 years off during his prime. He wasn't allowed to fight. So what would have happened in that 3 years?
But to me, it's also a different era. Like, they were fighting forever.
Like, and quick fights, back to back.
He progressed through the era of, you know, when they went from, hey man, we're gonna fight till somebody falls down. You know what I mean? To, okay, you know what, we need to be a little more civilized. Let's do, like, you know, they were doing 20 rounds. All right, now let's do 15. You know what I mean?
20 rounds?
I think 15.
I think he was in the 15,
That's still 15. A lot.
But still,
it's a lot.
It's 15 with, and you know,
with
again,
power. That's heavyweight power.
They were everybody's seen them videos of George Foreman hitting that bag.
Right? Yeah.
Imagine taking them
I don't know, for 300 million. I was talking about it earlier today. I'll get in the ring with George.
I'll get it anybody for 300 million. Wake up next month. Where's my 10? I need my 10.
I'll pull
Where's my 10?
Pull that old school Jeff Jarrett, Hulk Hogan, where you just get in the ring and lay down. Go ahead and count it out.
Straight up. I have no problem with 100 million. Let's go.
Exactly.
But I think, Brett, you made a good point when you talk about his setup, the legacy, and Ian started out that conversation. It's what he's gonna do and what he's capable of doing from here on out with the rest of his life. He doesn't have to worry, but he set up the blueprint to be successful in those other arenas. Still have money flowing in from all those other ventures, and we're talking about a different era now. So when they retired before, what did most boxers do? Become commentators, right?
Right.
And that was what they did after. How many fights did you see George Foreman giving the play-by-play or giving the feedback, whatever they call it in boxing?
He came back like 5 times just to get some extra money because he needed it.
Them grills started popping, then he's like, man, I can sit back, man.
Yeah. So right now you're looking at somebody, and I can't say it's him alone. I don't know if he's been advised or how does it work. But no matter how many fights he's had up to this point, 50, he's 50-0, right? So at 50-0, somebody is back there helping him, and they're like, look, this is the end, but it can't be the end, right? You have a long run.
It's hard to say his legacy is his legacy is still growing. Who knows what he's going to do exactly?
I equate that to a thing we had years ago. It was a talk I had, and it actually ended up being a sermon in one day at church. And it goes back to the being that you got your birth date and your death date. And all that's in the middle is that dash that's on your grave. What everybody else talk about is what's gonna encapsulate that dash. So whatever he's got going on right now, he set up for his family, for the kids, for his generation. You talk about wealth passed down. We talked about that before on the show. Like, he set up to keep everything going, and family don't have to worry about nothing generations to come. Now, back in the day, like that wasn't a minute. They're fighting.
They're fighting to survive right now.
To get this purse, to get his knife. And then, like I said, some of them fights, because I remember, like, back in the day watching with my pops and them, like, look, I swear it was like every 6-7 months.
Probably less, yeah.
That's why they were called prize fighters.
Be back in the ring. And it's like sometimes, even as a kid, you're like, well, didn't he just get his butt beat last time?
Yep.
Like, knocked out.
How's he back
hanging out,
Exactly.
feeling like, yeah, man, they was taking damage back then.
But so you talked about Floyd and his ability to go in different mediums. I think Floyd learned from Oscar De La Hoya and the Golden Boy Productions, because that's where he was one of the first ones to have his own thing.
Others, yeah.
Yeah, and then he just took that and just made it into like
it was more. Yes, I think he took a piece of that, but I mean there are definitely other boxers who had attempted in that arena. It's really the combination of him, being smart enough to really getting screwed over by networks and feeling like he wasn't getting his true worth.
Yep.
But then also
Don King
in that being able to back up what was going on. The fact that he continued to win is really what set him up the way that it did. The more that you win, the more power that you have. And he ran the play of betting on himself in the sense of when it was time to renegotiate with like HBO. He said, nah, you guys are I want a bigger piece. They didn't want to give him the right piece. That's what got him to Showtime, because he started 24/7 and then had to switch it to All Access when he went to Showtime.
I was like, was that on HBO?
Yeah,
Like, I swore.
Exactly. He started with 24/7. That's what he started at HBO. But then because he ran out that contract, they didn't want to pay him what he felt he was worth, made that move. That's what it's good to see, somebody in the sport take it past, just like we were talking about. I'm a fighter. I'm just fighting to survive, to being able to create a true legacy, to create wealth and not just a fortune. And I think that's the thing. A lot of boxers might make a small fortune, but the fact that Floyd has become wealthy, like generation,
is becoming a household name. Whether you know boxing or don't, the TMD, Money Mayweather, the name, the brand.
Floyd is one, at most 2 years away from being a billionaire.
Easy.
Yeah.
Where he is right now, and we talking about his legacy a lot and how he's built that and everything, it's really fluid at this point. And that's what I'm most eager or most excited about, because he's 40 years old. He just won his 50th fight. He's done with boxing. He's going to retire and be on the Mount Rushmore of boxing. But he's going to do so much more. I'm looking forward to seeing how much more he's going to do for this sport, how he's going to bring it back to relevance. Because I think that was a big part of this, him fighting Conor McGregor as well, because MMA has basically taken over what boxing was. A lot more people watch MMA than boxing or whatever. So I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see what he does with this platform that he's built for himself and those that are coming behind him going forward.
Definitely curious.
That's the part where, I'm not sure. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the money team is now sponsoring MMA fighters. Because
he could.
Well, I guarantee this opened up some interesting conversations between him and Dana White.
Oh yeah.
Who is Dana White? I've been hearing that name.
He's the owner of the UFC.
Owner of the UFC.
UFC? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it definitely will, especially with McGregor being able to cross over and get this $100 million.
Well,
and I don't think he's not staying there. No, he's not going to stay there. But
he's not
staying there. But the MMA fighters who are drawing a lot more attention than boxers typically do. I don't know what their purses look like, but
not much at all. It's
definitely not the. It's definitely
compared to boxing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the business moves, I mean, I definitely love Floyd for that aspect as well. So, I mean, if he decides, hopefully he doesn't just turn his back on boxing, especially with some of the dudes that I saw fighting that need guidance, like that young man from Baltimore that missed weigh-in, so he had to vacate his belt on the undercard. He needs to be really influential with those. So I hope he doesn't just, leave boxing to go where the purse is and everything. But, I'm really excited to see, those things happen.
I definitely think Floyd is going to work on putting boxing back on the map, but I definitely also wouldn't be surprised to watch him, dabble in some of those other ventures. I definitely see with UFC, I feel that it's got to, in order to allow the purses, because right now it's like Art said, pretty much the owner is eating, graciously, while he's smart enough and strategically has made it to where, like, when you're part of the boys club, as far as being a fighter, you come, we take care of your hotel and you're training and you got stuff going on. But if you don't have sponsors and everything like that, you know what I mean? It's that fight purse is not a boxing fight purse. But at the same time, I think it might need to bring in more of that WWE element where
so now we're gonna have the Miz and them.
I'm just talking about able to have more personality. I think that UFC fighters have more personality, but bringing in more of the aspect of the talking and being able to
showmanship.
The showmanship of it. Exactly. That's
a big.
That's what
you got with the Tysons, with the Roy Joneses, and others. Yeah.
But also, I don't know how the WWE contracts work out, especially with like you become the Rock from being nobody. How does that work, and how much do they take of hey, we know you're making toys and all of this other stuff? How does that work? There's so much stuff that's involved, and it's the same thing now with the UFC. They got little action figures.
All that stuff comes back from like the American Idol mindset, is that you may be on the show, and once you get past the top 10 or top 20, you are now a name, and you sign the contract saying that you're giving back 20% no matter what you do for the next 15 years.
Exactly.
It's crazy. That's why some of those people don't want to win.
That's why
it's insane.
And already your name. They've already copyrighted your name and stuff like that.
See, and this is the last point before I head to you, Faison, for the Arts Corner. But like that's why Floyd is going to be so important in boxing. Because that right there, you know what I'm saying? Somebody taking it off the top, the percentage or whatever, like kind of how Jay-Z set up Rock Nation. And now he has the sports aspect of it. And he was talking about it on Rap Radar, where he has them and they kind of assembled their teams to create their own wealth instead of going through somebody else that's going to take from yours.
Diversify your portfolio.
Exactly. So, I mean, we're going to leave that there.
Before you finish, I just got some figures for you guys for some MMA fights. So Georgia's St. Pierre, which is
time out. BJ, you slacking.
Some big figures for boxing. So St. Pierre,
that's who just fought John Jones, right?
I think so. Start off with 10. He's now at 20 million per fight. That's what he's getting when he fights.
10.2
Georgia's Rush St. Pierre.
No, that's not who just fought John Jones.
Okay, well, he's getting 20 million. When he was fighting, I guess, in his prime, he was getting 20 million max. Okay. Ronda Rousey, she's getting 15 million max on her fights.
She retired.
John Jones, 7 million max per fight. Anderson Silva, 6 million max per fight. Broke his leg, poor guy. And then the highest paid obviously is McGregor now, but he got most of that from boxing. So before that, he was only making, they said, $1 million per fight, and now he's getting 100 million from boxing. So it's crazy. It's the scale is crazy.
UFC is more about promotions and getting
your personal
sponsorships. There you go.
Oh, so they get a lot of that behind the scenes.
It's like basketball.
Because
basketball
it's like
before LeBron James can trade, it's basketball. If you get a lot of money outside.
All of their, they have all the different brands on their shorts, and then they'll have like the t-shirt they got to put on or a hat, or you'll have the dude carry. He has it. All of a sudden, the guy will come and throw a water bottle in his hand, and whatever brand, and he like turning it out like, man, you got to show the label, dog. Show the label. And it's about that sponsorship money, because that's a quick 15, 20, 50 grand, 100 grand. Hey man, I need 500 because your brand is going to be shown to not just all these people here, but I'm on pay-per-view, baby. Let's get it. So it's about leveraging your self-worth.
Business.
BJ's still waiting for us to restart the education.
I'm sorry, BJ, but we got
No. Like we talk about it, but I'm not. I didn't even watch the fight, so I can't contribute that much to the thing. So
I'm pretty sure it's on.
I'll really quickly. This is how it works. A man throws a punch, a man dodges. A man hits him in the face, a man dodges.
Like
That's pretty much.
So it's like NASCAR. But
Faison, what you got for us today, man?
Hey, hold on, man. Hold on. I really want to give a quick shout out to my fight hero, which was the guy that was Facebook living the fight from his laptop. That's how I saw the fight. It wasn't Silky Wilkie, though. Another guy. But
If y'all don't know, shouts out to
Somebody
Silky
said they were going to do that, but
somebody shared it on Facebook Live, and when I got on, they were at 4,000 viewers.
Hell.
By the end, it was 8,000 people watching.
I believe it.
Shout out to the set out.
They probably
I would have known.
They probably caught that letter today, Jack.
No, international. He was in Scotland.
Oh,
Can't
really?
do that. Oh yeah. outside the country, you're good to go.
That's awesome. But yeah, shout out to my man Silky Wilkie. If y'all ever need a fight, my dog Silky Wilkie always finds a good somebody else's page to share that winds up having it. Silky Wilkie, he's a boxer himself.
Time out.
It's all international.
Faison,
Yes,
what
sir.
you got for us today?
Hey, Silky Wilkie, feel free to share the 13th floor.
There you go.
the brothers of the 13th floor are not responsible for any kind of.
There you go, BJ. That's
We're not
good.
sharing no fights.
So this week's corner, it changed like 4 times. I had like a lot of things going on this week. Good stuff, but
So you have a room.
yeah. Today I want to.
furniture because I mean Georgette was talking.
Yes, yeah. Well, today I'm gonna stay on the couch, so I gotta make some noise. And it's important that everybody hears this one who's listening, because in our community we don't really talk about this a lot. But last night's VMA, there was a entertainer named Logic that did a whole performance around depression and about suicide and all these things. And in our community, we don't get to talk about that because that's looked down upon. So if anyone's out there listening, and it's usually people who you don't think about or who's just trying to find things and is frustrated with life, people are out there. You are not alone. You have people, you have friends, you have family. Reach out to people. Don't take it by yourself. There's a number they gave out, which is 1-800-273-8255. That number, you can call, you talk to somebody. The first thing you gotta do is talk. And I just wanted that out there. We have a great time and you can have a great time, but you gotta get past that hump. When you pass that hump, you see victory behind you. Go through the tunnel and see what's on the other side of the tunnel. Don't let whatever's happening right now affect you. People who love you, want to see you survive, want to see you do things, and they need you. So whenever it gets tough, reach out to people, reach out to their friends. Don't hold it in. Talk about it and get it going.
That number again, 1-800-273-8255. I was looking up while you was talking about it, bro. Like
Yes.
Do you guys remember? And I know I went to school before most of y'all did, but at some point they had numbers if you were a student that you could call, and then like there was a certain code you put in for whatever the subject matter was. So
I remember that.
It could be anything from drug abuse, domestic violence, abuse, masturbation. It could be anything that they would have on there, and you could call in. I was wondering if they still do that. Do they still do that in schools?
So
I definitely have help for the students. I don't know how far that help goes, but they do have resources and everything for the students. Because I mean, you think about it, students, half of them probably their first time leaving home. You deal with so much pressure, anxiety, social pressure, and everything. You gotta have that resources. So I mean, Faison, great message, man. Definitely want to take advantage of those resources if you find yourself in need. Fresh, man, we coming your way for the Fresh Jam. We're gonna have to find a way to get some Logic on here, man, because he's definitely under the radar, but he's a dope artist, man.
Yeah,
dope artist.
Logic.
I did hear what you were talking about on the radio, that little segment he did at the VMAs, man. I was really proud. I was really proud.
Logic is definitely a dope artist. Definitely as far as the new young blood goes, he's somebody who really works on, especially his last album, making sure he's putting a message in his music and is about more than just the party scene. And I also respect him because he's not Bugatti driving, club going, chain wearing, gold teeth, talking about violence or anything. Like, he really does a good job of using his skill set as far as the MC to portray, positive messages, but also tell stories of, his ups and downs in life. So definitely a good artist for all to check out. However, this week's Fresh Jam of the Week is actually a lady by the name of Ray Black and SG Lewis. The song is called Chill Out. It's kind of more of an R&B vibe this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So I hope you're ready. I know there was some speculation and
No Tay
anticipation
this week. No Tay.
on what was going to get popping this week. But yeah, go ahead and give it a listen. Let me know what y'all think.
Oh yeah, I told you I was trouble when we first met, but I guess you never got the message. I hate to be so goddamn depressive, but my broken heart turned me to a savage. Cause I only want you when I'm lonely, on a late night, on a Friday, with some hot grade. Said I'll only want you when I'm lonely, on a late night, on a Friday, with some hot grade. You wanted something real.
I wasn't expecting that. I only want you on the late night with the high grade.
You're making a big deal. I'm nothing you should cheat out.
It's a good vibe though.
Yeah, good stuff.
I'm gonna have to
Good stuff.
research out. You normally don't throw stuff out there that I hadn't already heard, but I'm gonna have to go research that one.
Again, that is Chill Out, Ray Black. Yes, let me see if it'll focus in on the name there.
Yeah, hit that
Ray
first.
Black.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do it. But anyway,
So-
Ray Black, SG Lewis. She's got a couple. I think she might be from across the water, Europe, somewhere. But I mean,
there was something
yeah,
in there.
you could definitely hear it in the voice. But yeah, she's got a couple of really dope songs. I'm not sure if it's considered her and another person or if they're more of a group, but whatever it is, the music is jumping. Definitely say you go check out Chill Out and any other things that you can catch from Ray Black and SG Lewis.
Quick question. So,
The week.
is she like similar to SZA, Kalani, BB Borelli, or is like it kind of different altogether?
Yes and no. She had more of a she was more of a Lauryn Hill
She
type.
sounds like she's like a jazz.
Where she could get some flow, like she will rap on some of her songs, and just like spit, as opposed to always being about kind of the more, I guess, trap related new flow where it's I'm singing and rapping, that Chris Brown, Trey Songz.
She sounds she definitely sounds like she's from the spoken word arena.
But yes, Fresh Jam of the Week.
There it is, man. Coach K, man, we coming your way for the message, man. What you got for the people?
The message for the people.
Mm-hmm.
People, what is your fight? What is it that you are trying to excel at and be better than everybody else is on this earth? Know that when you start to find success, there are going to be people that are not going to be fans of your success. Therefore, they're not going to be fans of you. But that doesn't mean that you should stop doing what it is you're trying to excel at. You should continue to go. You want to get to that magic 50. Because once you get to that 50, whatever your 50 is, that's when people are going to finally say, you know what? They were the greatest at this. Or they're going to consider you for being the greatest. But in the meantime, during the journey of trying to get to the greatest, nobody's going to really back you and appreciate you like that. They're always going to find a way to try to take you down, not to give you that credit. don't worry about it. You give yourself the credit and you go out there and ultimately go out on top.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Before we end the podcast, I want to give a shout out to the people out in Houston that are going through Hurricane Harvey, I believe.
Harvey, yes.
So I haven't watched the news, but I hear it's a lot of devastation out there. It looked some of the pictures and clips that I've seen, man. It really looks like Katrina type bad out there, man.
I think one of the representations I saw was that it would fill up a 4 cubic mile radius wide, and then a 2 cubic mile high. That's how much water is in Houston, in the city right now. Like, there were literally areas where up to overpasses was flooded. Like, you could take a dive off the overpass, so you're talking 20-30 feet of water.
Yeah, man.
Highways.
A lot of resources going out there, man. I heard from JJ Watt, he's got like 100K going out there. Beyonce is already taking reins on sending resources out there. So if you can, definitely send your prayers, send your help. Red Cross is available to those in Houston to help them get through this situation.
Hey, if you're doing donations, if you're doing anything, make sure you look at who you're giving the money to, or if it's money or food or things too, because organizations will take advantage of this time. Make sure
BJ has a number.
Perfect. Make sure no one's calling. If someone calls you for something, that's not it. You should be going through and making sure you set up right. So make sure the money goes to the people, not to the organization.
If someone calls you, that's not necessarily not right. You can
some
checking
research.
of who that person is.
A lot of organizations,
and what their organization is.
Hold on, but before a lot of organizations will put a lot of the money to the organization first before it goes to the people.
Yeah, Red Cross.
Make sure when you give.
Shout them out, man. We can't.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, they're going to help for sure. They'll be there to help.
I don't want to talk about Haiti, but I mean, look at what has not been done there with all of the money that was contributed. But BJ, I think, has a number for Houston. Go.
He said it's 1-800 Red Cross.
Type it.
No, so there's many, just like I was saying, there's many people out there at this point in time that are trying to raise money, trying to do things. So the first thing we can say is do your research. We're not endorsing one particular entity to collect money, or you should solicit to, or they should solicit from you. But like I said, do some research. Just doing a quick search right now. The mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, has set up a relief fund. Is ghcf.org, hurricane relief. The one JJ Watt has a fund set up as well, and I forget it. It's the flood relief fund, and that one is youcaring.com, youcaring.com, and they're up over $1 million right now. And these are just a couple. Of course, the Red Cross. You can text the word Harvey to 90999 if the Red Cross is the means you want to give. But again, by no means are we endorsing one entity. Again, do the research, make sure they're aligned with what you want to do and what you support. And just, again, we have a lot of family and friends out there. I know everybody in this room probably has somebody out there. But right now, our prayers are with everybody. We'll just make sure that everybody stays safe. Whatever we're gonna do, 13th floor got you.
And if you really want to show your kindness to humanity and to your fellow brother, find out how you can put boots on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, money's awesome, but the volunteerism, I guess is the word, and being there supporting. You got a boat. Be out there. People need you.
Jay, any final words, man? Everybody else got their run. I gotta give you your opportunity.
Oh no, no, I appreciate it. Like, what's going on, baby? No, but most definitely, like what Kay said, like really getting out there and putting in work with your hands as opposed to your wallet. It just does something. It does something different. You know what I mean? Like it's the connection, the letting people know that you're there with them, not just there from a distance, but knowing that you are there literally with them. It's nothing like it, like companionship. So definitely.
And not only that, but it goes a long way when other people see people helping people. Mm-hmm. A dollar amount on TV is not really impactful. So, that's a lot of money. But to see somebody reaching out to help their fellow human being,
this is the part that kills me. You talk about Katrina. You talk about the last quote unquote situation we had, hurricane we had here in Florida. You talk about Houston now. Like when there's situations that happen around the U.S., people come together and support each other. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, we forget about all that crap that happened.
Wash your hands.
We forget about that they got down the street. There's a different color, different religion. They were struggling, and we lend a help. We forget about all that, and now we back to the regular rat race. And that's the part that kills me with this.
But it's different people that do it. You know, you got people that do it because they look good. You know, I might be on TV, or people are viewing me, people looking at me, so I'm doing it because I got the attention. But then you got people that's actually doing it on a consistent basis. Like this is how they live. Like giving is a part of life. So
I'd have to humbly disagree, because in the face of diversity, no matter how messed up this nation is, we'll come together and support somebody. And if you look at everything that happened on 9/11, everything like that, you look at everything that happened, whatever.
Right? That's what I'm saying. But
people will overcome. And yes, I get it. People do for attention, whatever. But again, we could talk about that. That's a whole nother show.
I was just about to say, man, it sounds like we just started a whole nother show. So I mean,
why does it take something?
Tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen, here on the 13th floor,
where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing.
Holla! 35
to Flay.
I ended the show.